Welcome back to another MOTOBOB video where you join me today in Spain for the European press launch of the Honda CB750 Hornet. Now I've been really excited to ride this bike primarily because the launch price is super aggressive. It comes in at £6,999. That's less than all the competition from the major manufacturers, so less than an MT-07, less than a Z650, and of course less than a Triumph Trident 660. And the crazy thing is, at least on paper, it looks like it might be the best of the bunch. So could this be the absolute bargain of 2023? Well, I've been riding it all day, and in this video, I'll tell you exactly what I think. Now, by the way, everything that I've shot today on the bike has been done with the Insta360 X3. It's super simple to use, anyone can do it. And so if you like what you see, there are links down in the description where you can find out more. Now look, there are 4 key things that I really like about this bike, and I'm gonna go through them in sort of reverse order of potency. So the things I liked about it, up to the things I absolutely love. So first up, we've got an absolute abundance of features here in the cockpit, especially considering that price. I think it's got the best TFT display in the market. I wouldn't say it's the most dynamic or emotive or dramatic design, but it's got 4 different layouts, all of which are super readable. And then each one can be displayed either with a white background, a black background, or a sort of brushed aluminium look. So effectively, you've got 12 different options there. Now, I've always really liked the dash on the Triumph Trident. It's got an inverted LCD at the top and then a smaller TFT at the bottom for loads of menus and stuff. But I think having one big TFT like this just makes it a little bit more easy to use, and it really is packed with features. So you can manage 4 riding modes, so sport, standard, rain, and user. Within those, you've got 3 power modes, 3 levels of engine braking, and then 3 levels of traction control, and you can switch it off. And of course, they're all varied appropriately for those different riding modes, and user you can choose for yourself. Largely today, I've been riding it in sport because we've got dry roads, smooth surfaces, and so you want maximum throttle response, minimum engine braking, and as little TC as possible. But I have tried out the different modes, especially like rain mode around the urban sections of the ride today, and it does vary things up nicely, and I can imagine that's a real handy little tool if you do commute or ride in the wet. On top of that, you've got Bluetooth connectivity, so you can pair it with your phone and your headset and get calls and messages and navigation prompts on the dash. There are self-cancelling indicators and an emergency brake light feature, both of which I've tested out today, and they work perfectly well. And also an up and down quick shifter, which I'll get onto in a bit. Now, tech like this isn't necessarily for everybody, but you can just ignore it and just leave it in one setting. And for those who do like it, I think you have to agree it's an impressive set of features for this category of bike. Now, the next thing I've been really enjoying today is the riding position and the comfort levels, with one small adaptation. For most riders, I think it's going to be really easy to get on with. The bars are wide and pretty far back and upright. The seat's low, it's less than 800mm, and so that should be easy to flat foot for pretty much all but the shortest riders. And then the peg position, it's kind of sporty. It's up and back a little bit, and you don't feel the pegs touching down even on some of these quite tight bends, but still it's not super aggressive where your knee angle is totally closed up. The only thing I will say is that perhaps for this sort of riding where you're going a bit quicker and it's a bit more aggressive, I just wanted the seat to feel a little bit higher, and perhaps for the riding position to be a bit more over the front. But we did get a chance to stop off and tinker with the bike, so I gave it a couple of clicks of preload with the C-spanner that's under the seat here, and that definitely helped. Just a little bit of a boost at the back felt more natural to me for that sort of riding. That said, this bike is designed to be an absolute all-rounder. You could easily do a bit of commuting where you want to be sat up and looking forward at the traffic. You could even do a bit of light weekend touring. They've got a touring pack for it with some soft luggage, and for that sort of riding you don't want to be too cramped up. And so I think overall I'd say it's really approachable, easy to get on with, nice and comfy, and probably set up right for that all-round balance. Now, number 3 would be the handling. I've really enjoyed riding this bike today, and a big part of that is the weight. Not only is the engine lighter than the other equivalents in the lineup, so the CB650R, but also the frame as well. Quite a lot of work's gone into that, and I think they say it's even 3.8 kilograms lighter than the CB500, which is a smaller bike. Now, the total weight comes in at 190 kilograms curb, which actually isn't the lightest bike in this segment, but still it's significantly lighter than the 650, and it's enough for it to feel small and flickable and agile, and they said that that's one of the key design briefs for this bike. I've noticed some comments on the previous videos I've made about this bike when the specs were announced that the 160 wide rear tyre, for example, doesn't look as aggressive or sporty as a big 180 like you'll find on the MT-07, but again, they say they chose that to make it as agile and flickable as possible. Kibby they call call it in Japanese. And yeah, I've definitely found it to be entirely kibi. Now, suspensions from Showa, we've got a separate function, big piston upside down fork at the front here, and then a Showa monoshock at the rear. And I will say, it's a little bit on the soft side. Again, those extra couple of clicks of preload helped at the rear, and that's the only adjustability you've got, which you'd probably expect at this price point, but I will say it is somewhat comfort biased, but still the quality's there and it's composed enough to have a decent amount of fun on twisty roads. And like I say, it's got to be an all-rounder. I'd probably be grateful of the slight cushiness if I was riding it back home and just using it around town and that sort of thing. Brakes are from Nissan. You've got 4-pot radial calipers at the front here, and again, really nice performance, a good initial bite, and then plenty of power through the stroke, so I was really happy with the braking performance. And then as for tyres, we've got Michelin Road 5s, which are always excellent. So I think a nice handling bike, very chuckable, perhaps not quite as taut as something like the Trident 660, but if you want something a little bit more forgiving, then this will do the job nicely. But without doubt, my favorite thing about this bike today, the number one standout feature, is this brand new engine. It's 755 cc's, a parallel twin with a 270-degree crank. Nothing particularly unusual. There are plenty of those on the market, but what I loved about it is just the way it revs up so freely. It makes plenty of top-end power, so 90.5 horses, more than all the other bikes that I've just compared it to. But I think it's just the way it goes up and down the rev range so lightly. There's very little inertia, it feels to me, and it just makes it super peppy and lively and fun to ride. Now, there is plenty of torque, 75 Newton meters. I wouldn't say it's quite as punchy in the low revs as something like the MT-07, but still you can power out of a corner in third or fourth and it'll get you there. But generally the most fun is to be had up above sort of 6,000 RPM. On top of that, it's got that quick shifter that I was talking about. It is an accessory, so you'd have to pay for it. But of all the bikes I've ridden recently with quick shifters, I think it might be the best one I've tried. Not only is it nice and crisp, but it's also got the Fireblade levels of customization. So for the upshift and the downshift, you can turn them on or off and then choose from a soft, medium or hard setting. Personally, I liked it the most in the soft setting. Just a gentle touch will notch it up and down the gears really nicely and precisely. But I found that, yeah, it definitely enhances the fun when you're doing that sportier riding, especially when you're trying to keep it in that sort of peak rev range. The other thing with this engine as well is it just sounds absolutely fantastic. Within what's possible for a Euro 5 compliant engine, I just think it sounds phenomenal. Now, they say they've tuned the two exits on the silencer there, so one gets more bassy frequencies out at low revs, and then when you do start to rev it harder, it forces more gas through the tighter exit there, and it gives it more of that raspy, barky top end sound. Now, maybe that's not a massively important factor for everybody, but personally, I just think having a brilliant soundtrack to your ride like that only enhances the experience. The only negative, I suppose, with regards to the engine is that it is a little bit choppy on and off the throttle, especially at lower speeds, and I found that changing the power mode didn't really cure that. But as the days worn on, I think I've got a little bit better plugged into the throttle control, and also at higher speeds you really do notice it less. But overall, this engine I think is absolutely brilliant, and I can't wait to see what they do with it next. I mean, we know it's going into the Transalp Adventure bike, which I think is going to suit it really well, but hopefully it leads to more stuff, maybe a retro or something like an R7 competitor sports bike, and I think it will be able to bring plenty of fun no matter what the scenario. Now look, this is such a rich part of the market in terms of choice. I'd still say the MT-07 offers a bit more lairiness in terms of low-end grunt and lairiness in terms of the looks as well. The Trident biases a bit more towards tautness and handling, and then of course there's the long-running SV650, which offers you a genuine V-twin. But I think if you look at this bike as purely what do you get for $7,000, it's just astonishing value for money and bags of fun. The only caveat, I suppose, is that launch prices don't always tend to stick around for that long. It may be that in 6 months or 12 months they put it up a bit, but I can only judge it on the price it is today, and I think it's just, yeah, a brilliant bike for relatively little money. Perhaps the only bike that could spoil the party is the Suzuki GSX AS. It looks very similar to this bike, and so if you want the full lowdown, then check out our comprehensive walk around from EICMA a couple of weeks back. I'll link to it here, so click on that and have a good watch and let me know what you think of it in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.